but I want to ask you about space and the way in which space systems are now part of the planning horizon for you at the Pentagon. Secretary Carter said recently, we must prepare for a conflict that extends into space. In other words, our key space systems, we have to assume that they'll be vulnerable. And the initial guidance from Secretary Carter and from you has been that we're going to try to have a strategy of denying the adversary the ability to take out our space assets by making them mobile. So I actually want to ask you to, this sounds like a little bit like Star Wars, mobile vehicles in space moving up and down and being able to attack if attacked. Is that a snapshot of the world that you're going to try to build towards so as to get this deterrent deniability built into your space systems?
Well, let me just walk back, because we've been talking a lot about this competition, and just make sure that everyone understands. This is not about us planning for war against great powers. This is about us planning for deterrence and to seek comprehensive stability, to make sure that there are no incentives for preemption, and if there is a clash, we end it quickly before it escalates. So within this, we know that our potential competitors have looked at the space capabilities that we've assembled and have said, wow, if we ever did cross swords with the United States, this would be an advantage that we would not like them to have. So they have been planning to attack our constellations. So we have considered space a sanctuary for quite some time, and therefore a lot of our systems are big, expensive, enormously capable, but enormously vulnerable. So what you will see over the course of the next decade or so is that we will be taking the capabilities in these exquisite systems and distributing them among smaller systems that have fuel that allow them to maneuver away from anti-satellite capabilities. We'll have better space situational awareness, so we'll know exactly what we're doing. In fact, I would say that the first operational and organizational construct of the third offset strategy is something that Secretary Carter initiated called the JICSPOC, the Joint Interagency and Combined Space Operations Center. And it is designed to look up and say, what are the threats that are doing, and how would we move our assets to make sure that we would retain the capabilities. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to tap into the enormously innovative commercial stuff that is happening in space. I visited a company called Planet Labs. They're going to have 150 satellites. They're about this big. They have a 15-inch Cassegrain telescope, and they have a camera on it. And they're going to be a single orbit, a sun-synchronous orbit, with 150 of what they call these doves. And the flock will just take pictures straight down to a second, day in, day out, in daylight. It will be a line scanner of the entire Earth, because in a sun-synchronous orbit, every single portion of the Earth will rotate under this orbit. They're going to be bringing down 10 terabytes of data a day. And we will use deep learning machines to say what is happening on the globe. So
using that privately generated data set.
Sure. We'll be able to access it just like any other. And so what you'll see is, how could an adversary, I'm going to go after 150 of these little things this big. You know, it's very expensive to fire an ASAT. So by using a combination of commercial technologies plus disaggregating our own constellation, we're confident we're going to be able to survive any type of concerted attack and continue to provide the support that our warfighters need.
You said something useful to those of us who try to puzzle out acronyms, which was giving the correct pronunciation of JICSPOC, because I've been seeing those initials in Pentagon materials. And I just would note and comment, if you want, what interested me about that is that this is going to jointly protect space assets of the Department of Defense and the intelligence community, if I'm understanding this in a genuinely joint manner. I can't remember, I mean, that's Is that a breakthrough?
Well, when Secretary Carter left as the Deputy Secretary of Defense, he thought that we had this breakthrough. But when he left, the idea kind of went away. So we've been working really hard, and I have to tell you, the intelligence community has been right with us from the beginning. This has been totally, it's the joint is all of the services, interagency is DoD with our other government partners, combined is our allies, and Spock, well, you have to have Spock in something about space. So, you're right, David. I mean, this is something we have been doing experiments with our interagency partners and saying, what would happen if this attack occurred? How would we operate in real time and reconfigure? It's been a tremendous success. We're very excited about it.